Okay guys, Denzi here bringing you a deck profile of a fun deck turned competitive. It's a pole position deck. Basically, my friend liked the card pole position, but also liked playing competitive Yu-Gi-Oh! So he wanted to be able to use this card, but also, still win. So this is basically his shot at it, and I'll run through the deck really quick and then I'll get back to the card choices. So, to start off, you've got the 6 gadgets. Pretty straightforward. You got 2 Machina Peacekeeper, 3 Gearframe, 3 Fortress, and Force. For spells, you've got Reborn, Dark Hole, Nobleman, 2 Smashing, 2 MSTs, Giant Trunade, 3 Magic Planner, and Limiter Removal. The traps, which start off pretty standard, are Bottomless, 2 Bottomless, and Mirror Force. Then you get into Royal Oppression, Call of the Haunted, obviously 2 Pole Position, Vanity's Emptiness, 2 Imperial Custom, and Metal Reflex Slime. Now, for those of you who don't know what Pole Position does, basically the strongest monster on the field is unaffected by spells, and when this thing leaves the field, the strongest monster on the field is destroyed. There are a lot of different ways to set that off. I mean, basically it just sits there to protect your fortresses while you've got those from cards like Dark Hole and the like. Oftentimes, killing whatever play your opponent had stops Book of Moon, etc. And the other plus side is that since the gadgets don't often have the highest attack, you can use this to get rid of your opponent's monsters pretty easily. And an interesting thing about this is because it's not activated when it's destroying a card. Stardust Dragon can't negate this. So that gets rid of, what would otherwise be a pretty big problem for a gadget-centric deck. One of the ways to set this off is Giant Trunade, which is in here not only because it combos with Pole Position, but it also gets you back your Call of the Haunted, gets your Oppression out of the way for when you need a special summon, and allows you to make big pushes with Fortress. Planter's in here because it, again, gets your anti-special summon cards out of the way for when you need to push. It allows you to dig for cards that you need when cards like Imperial Custom would otherwise be dead, and it also allows you to set off the effect of Pole Position while drawing cards, which is always a nice thing. The monster lineups, there's nothing really to say there. The fact that it runs so few monsters just works with how many traps you need to run for this deck to work out. Vanity's Emptiness is just a fantastic card. I mean, while it would otherwise destroy itself, it's protected by Imperial Custom, which prevents any continuous trap other than itself from being destroyed. So this thing stops all special summons, even the ones that Royal Oppression can't, like Treeborn Frog. And because of that, this deck basically, wrecks things that rely on special summons, like Monarchs, for example. If they can't get their Treeborns out, they have a hard time keeping Tribute Fodder on the field. And even when they can get off the Monarchs, Fortress does a really good job of taking care of those. Nobleman's in here because this deck basically needs a main to answer to Raikou, because, it shuts down these back row cards by destroying them before you can set them off. And when it comes down to it, basically any deck sets something. Smashings are in here just to go with the gadgets, and Limiters, because all of the monsters are machines. And allows you to, pull off a surprise, game shot every once in a while. Like Machina Gearframe plus Machina Fortress is 8,600 on our Limiter, which is pretty good. The MSTs are here because this deck would otherwise lose pretty hard to Decree. You basically want to save these for that if you know your opponent's running it, and the Fortress's effect can destroy it as well. The other thing you can use MSTs for is to set off your own Pole Position if you're desperate, if you need to get rid of one of your opponent's monsters. And then Metal Reflex Slime's in here because with Imperial Custom it's pretty amazing because it's immune to all monster destruction and most spell and trap destruction as well. And it's basically a huge wall while you set things up with fortresses or chip with gadgets. Sorry about that. Mirror Force and Bottomless are just standard monster removal. And that's basically it. Another fun combo with the deck is to bring back Machina Peacekeeper with Call of the Haunted, and then Magic Planter away. And then you search your deck for Gear Frame and draw 2. And that's basically it. I want to try and get some duels up with this deck because it's pretty interesting. And it wins a lot of matches you wouldn't think it would. So, look forward to that. And until then, basically just, tell me what you think about the deck down in the comments section. And, rate the video, thumbs up, and I'll see you later.